My name is Colonel Wagner, Joseph. I was born in Heinerscheid, Heinerscheid,
E.D.?
E.D., yeah.
So Heinerscheid.
Heinerscheid, yeah.
Scheid.
Scheid. On the 28th of August, 1924.
So how old are you now?
95th, 95th.
95.
95, yeah.
You don't look like a 95-year-old.
Oh, thank you.
What is the secret?
Oh, so many people ask me about that, and then, well, I go on living like I did it before. I have never changed my my physical occupation. I go out every day, have a drink, meet friends, and then I have a very nice girlfriend. She comes, we meet on Sunday with her or with me.
So drink and girlfriend are the secret.
That's the secret. Yeah, she is my beauty.
Oh. So tell me about your family when you were growing up. Your parents, your father and mother, and your sibling, brothers and sisters, when you were growing up.
Well, when I was born in Heinerscheid, and my parents, they had an hotel restaurant in that town, in Heinerscheid. And I had 3 brothers. The elder brother, he was 2 years older than myself. He was from 1922. And then my brother René, he was my twin brother.
Twin?
Twin brother, yes. He was my twin brother. And he became the cook. And he took over the restaurant after my parents, they grew up older. You know? So my twin brother, he took up the whole commercial side, and he did a very good job, but he died very early, at the age of 58.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. He had a very, yeah. He was a very good cook, very, very good cook. And he had a lot of success in his business. But he died very early, he died too early.
So did you take charge of it?
I beg your pardon?
So when he passed away, did you take over?
No, I didn't. I was in the military all my life.
Okay.
I came to the army shortly after the war, and then I stayed until I was retired in 1979.
When did you join the military?
I became a military in 1944. I must explain that we have been occupied by the Germans during 4 years, and as we were annexed to the German Reich, so our generation was taken to the German ranks. I had to serve in the German army. And
During the World War II?
World War II, yes. I had to serve in the German army, and I was in Pologne, in Bromberg, and I came on leave in about August 43. August 43. And then I went hiding in a farm during 13 months, and I waited up the liberation of the Americans. I waited to be liberated by the Americans in September 44.
No, 45.
No,
44.
44. 44. Well, and then I left these people to finish my study, because I have been taken out of school during the war up to a certain class, and I could not finish my study up to the upper examination.
So tell me about the school system in Luxembourg at the time that you were growing up. Was it like a regular kindergarten to high school system?
Well, it was, I have never been in a kindergarten. I went to the primary school in Heinerscheid at the age of 7, and then I stayed there up to 12, 13 years, and then I went to the Lyceum, Classical Lyceum in Echternach.
What is that?
Echternach is
what is classical? What? High school.
Yeah, that's what we call college.
I see. And this is an important question. When you were in high school, okay, did you learn anything about history of Asia?
Of Asia? Well, yeah, we had been educated in geography about so many other countries. I mean, but I don't know exactly if we touched Korea or what. We knew where was Japan, China, and all these big countries, because they had many times war together. So that was also the information we had about these countries. And, well, otherwise, we have, most of the time, we knew all about the European countries.
So did you learn anything about Korea at the time?
No.
Did you know where Korea was in the world map?
No. I didn't know that.
Have you ever thought that you would come to Korea and fight for that country?
No, never. I have never thought about Korea. I didn't know where it was. I learned only Korea when I heard on the radio. That was when I was at the last school for the military education in the France Saint-Cyr, in the France military school. And that was in 1950. I was studying in 1950 at the French Military Academy, Saint-Cyr. And then one morning I was at the breakfast, and suddenly I heard a news up through the radio coming up, and I knew North Korea attacked South Korea. Then I was saying, where is North Korea? Where is South Korea? I didn't know anything about it. We were thinking and we were talking about that very seriously, and then we found out, oh, yes, Korea had been occupied by the Japanese after a certain war. They had been annexed to the Japanese territory. That was shortly or one of these wars. I don't know exactly when they have been annexed to Japan, but when we came over, the war was over. And your country had already been retaken their own independence. And when we came over, you were a country on your own. By Sigmund Rhee was your first president, and then, the North Korea attacked South Korea, and then the war was in, and so many nations had been invited by the Secretary of the United Nations and so many people, and Luxembourg also, and so they made a call to the young people, especially to the military. They made a call to join the United Nations Army. And so the government, they created a detachment of 50 people, integrated in the Belgian battalion.
Yep.
And so
how did you become the Luxembourg army to join the Korean War?
the Luxembourg Army.
Why did you volunteer, or
Yes, volunteer.
Why did you volunteer?
Well,
you said that you didn't know anything about Korea.
Yeah, after that I had learned already so much that the people of North Korea, well, they all had to move out of their country, and then I was very touched to see that this nation was South Koreans. They were attacked by the North Koreans. Why, I don't know so much about the political events in this area, but I had pity to the South Korean population, and I said, if someday we send people in, I will volunteer. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice. So you were already veteran, right? Because you fought during the World War II. So did you have to have another military training to be sent to Korea?
Another military?
Training, basic military training. Did you have to go through that?
Yes. When we were called up on the 2nd October 1950, after I had joined this Luxembourg unit, and we left Luxembourg on the 2nd October 1950 after a small ceremony presided by the Prince Felix, the husband of the Grand Duchess of that time, Grand Duchess Charlotte. She was the head of of Luxembourg, of our state. And then we were integrated immediately in the Belgian battalion. We were put to Belgium, to Beverlo, and we joined the Belgian battalion, and we made all the training, what they have done in the battalion. We made very hard training. And then we were taken on this Belgian boat, the Camina.
Camina? Could you spell it? Camina?
Camina, that's K-A-M-I-N-A, Camina.
Yes.
Yeah, we were taken to this, and then I feel we left on December, 15th of December, after we had this very heavy, very hard training. And we arrived in Korea on the 31st of January.
31st?
31st of January, yeah. And then we were...
Where did you arrive? In Busan?
Yes, we were in Busan. There was a United Nations reception center, was close to Busan. And all the people who came in, they were taken to this reception center, and they were integrated, initiated by this Korean tactics and how they fought, how we should behave, and so on. And then we made very hard training up to the point where we joined Wake One. Wake One, that was...
Wake One.
Wake One, that was after the landing of MacArthur. So many units of this North Korea who had who succeeded to come down up to the South River.
But, sir, did you go through Japan before you come to Korea?
Yes.
Where?
Well, Sasebo.
Sasebo. Okay, and let me ask this question.
Yeah.
You said you didn't know anything about Korea during the school year, and you never heard about it. And when you arrived in Busan, what was the image of Korea for the first time in your life? Be honest. What was your thinking about Korea?
Well, thinking about Korea, that was we never knew what kind of population it was. We didn't know if they had industry, if they were only rice farmers, or what. We didn't know anything about all that. And when we came in, we saw, we learned what kind of population we were going to help.
How did people look like at the time? How was the city of Busan? Was it destroyed, or were there many people? How was it?
No, we didn't come to Busan.
So you were in Jinhae?
No, we didn't come to any town. We were taken to this immediately by car to this reception center, and after that we didn't go any place. We were all the time training, and then we were one day, as I told you, we have another mission that was organized by the Belgian authorities. And we came to Wake One to fight the guerrillas, to fight all the units who had been cut by the landing. There were so many Korean units, constituted units, and they were. Our mission was to control the line of communication, the railway, the roads, and whatever was happening. And then these units, they had nothing to eat. They are cut up by their bases. They had no food, no ammunition, no supply anymore. And so, they invaded, they attacked the small villages to have food. And then we were called up to fight these guerrillas. But when we were located in Wake One in tents, that was so many miles away from where this happened, where they attacked the villages, and we were so far away. When we came in, they were gone. They were gone already. But we were all the time informed by a body called the South Korean Police Agency. We had South Korean police contact, and through this agency we knew that something was happening in these small villages. Yeah.
So, when did you leave Korea and then?
When I leave?
Yeah, when did you leave Korea?
I left Korea on the 1st of September, 1st of September.
1950?
1951.
51.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been back to Korea after that?
Oh, yes.
How many times? How many times?
Oh, many, at least 10 times.
10 times?
Oh, yes. I was back many times. I thought the whole evolution which was taking place, I saw all that.
When was the latest time?
The latest time, 2016.
2016. So, you are only a few Luxembourg soldiers who knows about the Korea in 1950 and 2016, right? So it's almost like a 66 years apart.
Apart, yes.
Tell me, what are the differences? What did you see Korea in 1950 and what did you see in 2016?
Well, as we were taken to many places, from one place to the other and from one village, we felt that Korea was a very, very poor nation, very poor farmers, and well, they tried to come along in their life, in their family, with doing a very hard duty. That's how I knew the North Koreans. When we walked up, down, that was when we had several missions, and that was the way I judged the Koreans at the beginning.
And then?
Well, and then, we joined also Korean.
No.
unit.
When you go back to Korea in 2016, how was it?
Oh, when I went back 2016, that is, it is not to say how many and how good, how fine the South Koreans have reconstructed their country. Beautiful, beautiful. And every time when I went back, there was all the time a new situation and new constructions and new, the whole picture has changed every year I was there. And I was, the last time, 2016, that was after the war. We were invited by the Korean Patriotic Organization, and we were glad to be in Korea again. We had also many contacts because we had 150 South Koreans fighting in the Belgian battalion. They were integrated the Belgian battalion. They were equipped like a Belgian soldier, and they came along with us, but they didn't like our daily ration, our daily food. So they had organized porters to come along and to follow the Belgian battalion with rice, and then when we came to a halt, when we came to the last position of the day, they started their cooking.
So you were invited by the Ministry of Patriots and Veterans Affairs, it's MPVA, and this whole thing is supported by the MPVA too. So have you ever thought that Korea would become like this today when you left 1951?
No, I did not.
Why? Why you didn't think that Korea would become like this?
There is so much damage. All this South Korea was damaged up to the last building, to the last stone. And that's why I feel that you are a very courageous nation, and that you do a job, a very, very good job, very good job to rebuild your country. And in this short time, to build such a beautiful country and such a modern country. You have all kinds of industries. You have a very important car industry, and you have all items being taken in a household. You construct everything, and you send it over in the whole world. And you are very courageous. I feel Korea did a very, very, very good job.
We were able to do it because you fought there, for the country you never knew before.
Yes, that's what we heard all the time. We are glad that you came to liberate South Korea, because I met all that when we were fighting most of the time in the area of the 38th parallel. That's where we were one day integrated in the 29th British Brigade.
29th British?
29th British Brigade. And with this brigade, I stayed with. At the beginning, we were in the 2nd division. No, the third
division.
In the 3rd division. And from the 3rd division, with the 3rd division, we made up the way to the 38th parallel again. We fought from south to the with the 3rd division, and then at the Imjin River, this brigade, the 29th Brigade, they were located at the Imjin River, also let's say parallel to the 38th parallel. But we came to this bit, and then the brigade, they had 1 battalion more. They were the strongest brigade in the British Army. They had the Northumberland Fusiliers, the Gloucesters, the Royal Ulster Rifle, and the Belgian Battalion. So this brigade was the strongest brigade in the British Army. Yeah? And
at the time, what was your rank?
I was a lieutenant.
I'm sorry?
A lieutenant.
Lieutenant?
Yeah.
So you were officer?
I was officer, yes. I was an officer, and I became a 1st lieutenant in Korea. I had a 2nd pip or 2nd star on my shoulder. I started with 1 star, that's lieutenant. Then the 2nd star, that was 1st lieutenant. And then I came back from Korea as a 1st lieutenant.
And now you retired as a colonel.
I retired up to the rank of colonel.
So tell me about any specific skirmish during Wagener, when you were there with the fighting against these North Korean guerrillas, right?
Yeah.
And any episode that you want to say about it?
We had one, also in the spirit of fighting these guerrillas, in Kumi, we had a camp during 8 days. And in this Kumi area, we were patrolling every day. We were patrolling on the Naktong River. Naktong River.
Naktong River, yes.
Yeah, Naktong River, that is the river where they stopped, where they blocked the invasion from the North Korea.
Naktong perimeter.
Naktong perimeter, yes. And from there, well, in the Naktong perimeter, we saw how hard they had fight already before we were in the area. We saw so many destroyed tanks, Russian tanks, T-35 or 34, and well, we saw that they had the small group of the United Nations Army who had been created at that time. They must have had a very hard fighting to block them up in this Naktong area.
Were there any fight between?
We never no.
Okay, then you said that you went to the near Imjin River.
Yeah.
Were there any skirt battle that you remember that you fought?
Oh, well, we were we were engaged in this big spring offensive. The spring offensive by
1951.
In 1951, in April 51, but we were engaged with the whole battalion, and we were attacked by so many Chinese. We had to move out at one moment. But the Belgian battalion was resisting very hard, very long, because they were resisting to allow the other units of the brigade to move out. And we were one of the last battalions to have the order to retire. Yes. Well, and from there we went down to Seoul, And we had another guerrilla mission on the Han, on the Han River, I believe, where the Han joins the sea. And well, from there, we were organized as because the Belgian battalion had lost all their cars. They had so many losses, especially material. I don't know how many dead. We had also a very big number of dead and injured. Well, after these periods, we were located sometimes in Seoul University building. There was where I saw all the pictures of the classes of these young Korean students. And then from there, we came back up on the Imjin River, and we occupied the position of the Gloucester Battalion, where the Gloucester Battalion has been wiped out. Because at the Battle of the Spring Offensive, the brigade was attacked very hard.
By the Chinese?
Yes, the brigade was attacked, and the British units, they had to fight very, very hard to resist so long time. And then we had one chance to be taken out, because our liaison officer, Major Moro de Melen, he went to the American high quarters. He was a liaison officer, and he met the high quarters to ask if they could do a harder support to the Belgian battalion, a very big support to the Belgian battalion, to allow the battalion to move out, because we were in close contact with the Chinese. But the only thing we had the river between us. And at that time, the river was very high, and so they could only cross with boats, and I don't know if they had so many means to do so. But
were there a Canadian soldier with you too?
I beg your pardon?
Canadian soldier, Canadian.
I didn't meet Canadian soldiers.
They told me that they play ice hockey during the winter when there was...
No.
Did you see that?
No.
No?
No. I never met... I met only British people.
So how was it working with the British and Belgian soldiers? Was it good?
The contact.
Yeah, the relationship.
Yes, the relations, they were very good. They were good. Well, we had our sectors, and the other battalions, the Gloucesters, the Royal and stuff, they had every unit had these sectors to be occupied and to be responsible for this part.
Were there any very dangerous moment that you might have lost your life?
Yes. After,
tell me about it. Tell me.
Yeah, after we had retaken position after this offensive, Chinese offensive, when we had retaken position on the Imjin, the United Nations, they were not well informed about where the Chinese had retired, how far they were retired. They didn't know, had very few information. And so one day, that was on the 1st of June, the battalion made an attack to find out north, across the Imjin River, to find out, I don't know how many miles, to find out where the Chinese were. And the Luxembourg detachment was ordered to create a bridgehead on the other side of the Imjin River and to hold the ground until so many Belgian units had crossed the river to look after the Chinese. And then was one company, B company. They were when we had crossed the Imjin River to occupy this bridgehead. The people of the place, they told us the Chinese, they have just left this position, or the Chinese have just left this position with 200 people. There were 200 people at that spot, and they had taken, when they saw that the Belgians were crossing with heavy material and so many units, they moved out. And they went, and the population told us, well, so many have left. And they went up about 1 mile, not even 1 mile, and they stayed there.
You were able to see them?
Yes, they shot our position. When we were organized on this bridgehead, we were attacked by this, by the arms, by army, rifle fire and machine gun fire at this position. We had taken care of our unit. We had dug some holes to be protected, and so they attacked, and then by fire. And then the Belgian company was sent forward to meet them. And when they came to in the vicinity, these people, I don't know how many there were, they attacked the Belgian company. And the Belgian company had to pull out. And we were just in a very good position to help this company to come back to their bases, to cross the Imjin River and to go back where the battalion had was located. And the company commander of this unit of B company, when we came together on any place after the war, we had so many occasions to meet. I had a unit, I went to Belgian training camp, and I met one of these company commanders and the commander of Company B, and he said, if I would not have had the Luxembourgers on the 1st of June by the Operation Pile Driver, my company would have been wiped out. That's what he said. That was a very good compliment. It was a very nice compliment. He said, and then we were the last group of all this to be pulled out. That was the day where I was the closest to this Chinese units. I saw the Chinese units very close, and then after that we moved out by fire and movement, until we were taken in boats and taken over in the Imjin River, and they did not come any further because the support of the battalion, of the units who had crossed the Imjin River, and to take the Luxembourgers back was so heavy. There were tanks, there were artillery shooting, and we had the support, I don't know, of a whole division to pull the Luxembourgers back again. That was
dangerous.
The day where I saw Chinese soldiers moving up to our position. I would not say I saw the white of their eyes, but they were very close.
So what if I arrange a meeting between you and that Chinese soldier that took, fight against you 66, 70 years ago, would you willing to shake hands with them?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why?
Well,
They were about to kill you.
well, they were. I say all the time, the Chinese soldiers, they were slaves. They had to move, and if they would not move, they would be killed by their leaders. They had this communist ideology, and they had, yes, I should say that the Chinese soldiers, they had no chance to move back or to go back one day. No, they were soldiers like myself. And well, if I would have an occasion to meet them, why should I not shake hands with them?
That's good to know. What do you think about the trade war between China and the United States right now?
Right now, well, that's a very big mess.
Yeah.
That's a very big mess. I don't know what to think about.
Okay.
You see, the Chinese, they are also very courageous. They have a lot of customers in the world.
If I ask you to just pinpoint one thing that most difficult during your service in Korea, was it weather? Was it battle? What was it? What was the most difficult thing for you to stand at the time?
To stay where I was staying.
Yeah. What was the most difficult thing in your life at the time?
The most difficult, that was the attack of the 1st of June. That was the most difficult. We had so many other small incidents, but this was that was so evident that we would have been in a position to be killed, to be hit by a Chinese bullet or by Chinese, because we had 2 dead in the Luxembourg group, and they all have been killed by artillery shelling. Nobody has been killed by a bullet. Yeah.
So tell me, how much was the population at the time in Luxembourg, total population, in 1950?
The whole population in 1950, well, 400,000.
400,000?
Well, between 400 to 500,000.
Okay, and how many total soldiers from Luxembourg to the Korean War?
85.
85?
Mm-hmm.
How many were killed?
2.
2. How many were wounded?
15.
15.
Yeah.
And anybody missing in action?
No.
No?
No.
So, 2 out of 85.
2?
2 out of 85.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the highest casualty rates, the death rate.
Yeah, well, we were glad to have only 2 dead.
But still, that's a lot because your population was only 500,000 maximum.
Yes.
And there are only 85 soldiers and 2 people were killed.
Mm-hmm. I feel our effort to the United States Army was the biggest one in the whole group.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
85, that was already a whole company. Mm-hmm.
Whole company.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why it is important to keep this record of your witness as a Korean War veteran from Luxembourg. Tell me about soft side of your service. Where did you sleep? What did you eat? How much were you paid? Were you able? Oh, at the time, were you married?
No, I was not married.
You were single.
I was single.
Okay. Tell me about those. Where did you sleep? What did you eat? Were you able to take a shower? Things like that. Because remember, children will listen your interview. They want to know about that soft side. They ask, did you eat hamburger, McDonald's, or Burger King? These kids doesn't have any idea.
At the beginning, when we were located far away from the battle area, well, we had that was A, B, C rations.
From
A, B,
American C ration, yes.
A, B, C ration. And that was, most of the time we had C rations, but on several positions where we had a longer time to stay, we had also hot cooking, like A, B, C. I mean, what was it exactly? But this was C was one package for everybody, and A, B was 5 in 1. 5 in 1. That means in one package you had already better food. You had better food. You had to prepare. There was a preparation period. Otherwise, you could not eat it. It was raw material. And A was, I would not say in an hotel, but it was it was a normal meal you could have.
Where did you sleep?
Oh, we had sleeping bags.
Sleeping bags?
We had sleeping bags. We had sleeping bags. We were sleeping every day in a sleeping bag.
Outside or inside the tent?
Oh, sometimes at the beginning we were in a tent, and after that, when we were in a move with one of your bigger units, with the 2nd Division or the, then we were lying on the ground.
Even during the winter?
Most of the time we were sleeping on the ground.
In the foxhole?
In the foxhole, yeah.
How was it?
Well, first of all, you were very precautious because most of the time you slept, but you never had a very deep sleep. I know, because I was very precautious to see that nothing could happen in our area, and so I was watching. Also, the people who were in a position to have the mission that nobody could enter the Luxembourg ranks.
Did you have a camera? Did you take a picture?
I had a camera, but I had not the camera with me. I had the camera when we came over. But this was all with our biggest luggage in a depot.
Oh.
In a depot in Fusar.
Were you able to write letter back to your family?
Oh yes, I wrote.
What did you write?
I wrote many letters. I wrote that I would have that I was safe. I was most of the time. That was my the biggest word, that I am safe. There is nothing, no danger for the moment.
Did you have a girlfriend at the time?
Again?
Girlfriend.
A girlfriend.
Did you have a girlfriend at the time?
In
when you were in Korea?
In Luxembourg?
Yeah.
Yes, I had a girlfriend.
Did you write the letter to her?
Oh, yes, yes.
Do you still have the letter?
I have a very big box with many letters. Maybe there are also some letters of her, but most of the letters in this box, they are the letters I wrote to my mother, to my family.
So you still have those?
Yes, I still have them.
So would you be willing to share that with the museum so that we can put it on the website?
Oh yes, I would not mind, because I met after during the Korean War. I had a cousin from Chicago. I met in Korea.
Oh,
I met
really?
My cousin from Chicago in Korea. I knew his location, and I made the tour, the trip. I knew exactly where he was located.
How? How did you know?
By the car and the driver of the company commander.
Huh.
By the jeep of the company commander. And I came late to this position because I had to drive from the Imjin River down to Seoul and move up in another area. As we were occupied, we were in war. I had written to him, to his mother, that I was located, and then she wrote me, "Bob is in Korea too. You must try to come together."
Oh.
And then I got his location, and then I took the commander's jeep to go to his position.
Did you meet him?
I met him. Yes, I met him, and another time, Stars and Stripes was there, and they made a big article, Cousins Meet in Korea.
Whoa. Do you have that article with you?
Yeah, that is in the museum.
Okay, so we want to scan that too, okay?
Yeah.
And put that together with his interview. Will be great. What's his name?
Huh?
What's your cousin's name?
Bob Kramer.
Bob Kramer?
Yeah.
Bobkramer.
Kremer. Kramer.
Kramer.
Yeah.
Kremer.
Yeah.
Okay.
My mother was a Kramer.
Ah.
And he was the son, Bob Kramer was the son of my uncle from my mother's side.
Yeah, your mother's brother.
Yeah.
So how was it? Tell me, when you met Bob.
Bob? Oh, I came out of, I followed the panels, I mean the signalization, the 3rd Division operation team, or, I followed this. And then I came to a tent, and I met an American, and he said, "Well, are you looking for somebody?" Yes, I said, "I am from the Luxembourg Belgian UNO command, and I have a cousin called Bob Kramer, and he must be in the vicinity because he must be part of the operation section of the division." Oh, he opened the tent and he said, "Bob, step out, your cousin is waiting outside."
It's like a movie.
Yes.
Huh?
"Step out, Bob, step out, your cousin is waiting outside."
And?
Well, and then we met, and we celebrated. We had a lot of beer.
Drinking?
Yeah. And then I stayed there during the night. That was the only time that was in the headquarters of his division. He was 24th or 25th division, and that was in the headquarters. I had a very comfortable a bed with curtain that no mouthsticks.
Special treatment.
Yeah, special treatment. Yeah, and then I moved out the other day, and then after that, I went to the United States, and we met in the United States also again. And then I was married. I took my wife over to meet my cousins in the United States.
Wonderful story.
Yeah.
So, do you know here in Luxembourg, do they teach about Korea in high school or middle school? Do they teach?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? You are the citizen of Luxembourg.
I feel they don't do enough. The people of my children, they don't know anything about.
Did you tell them, your children?
Oh,
did you?
yes, I can. I tell to the children, yes.
About the war?
Yeah.
And they don't know?
No, they don't know anything.
They don't care?
Oh, they care when I say that I was a member of that. Then they are a little bit more interested. Otherwise, they say, what is Korea? We don't know.
So why is it? Why this war has been known as forgotten war? You know 1950 Korea and 2016, right?
Yeah.
So you know all these differences.
Yeah.
But why it's been known as forgotten war?
Well, as I told you, most of the people, the war was over, and this country was so far away on the map. Nobody. I mean, people who were interested, they had already looked for a world map to find this small country. Yeah, and then some people, my friends, they were always interested, and they were always very grateful or very nice that I had done this job. They appreciate it. Yes, oh, you were in Korea. You have no. They are very. They have very good feeling to me about the Korean War.
So now that Korea you saw in 1950 become 11th largest economy in the world.
Yeah.
It's bigger. I think it's bigger than Luxembourg, obviously.
Yes, it's bigger than Luxembourg.
And it's one of the most substantive democracy in Asia.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Well, but that's as I told you already. That the intelligence, you people, well. They were so educated after the war. I mean, your universities, they started, and they formed the most important and the most intelligent people of the world. Yeah? And so that was one of the reasons your country was allowed to grow up in a very short time, and very nice, and very modern. And then your industry and so many other things started, and that made. I mean that was part of the whole, and I feel they did a wonderful job, wonderful. I can only take my hat.
So, are you proud to be a Korean War veteran?
Yes, I'm very proud.
What do you think about the whole thing? You didn't know anything about Korea. Now you've been to Korea more than 10 times. You become a Korean War veteran. You see that Korea has transformed tremendously. What do you think about all these things that are happening in your life?
Well, that was a very important part of my life. I feel well, if I would not have been a military, I don't know if I was in this group to join the United Nations and to join. I was a military, and as a military, I had so many things in mind, and I was eager to learn how can you stand a war? That was my opinion. How can you stand a war as a commander of a group? And how can you make your way to take care that we have so few as can losses?
What would you say to the citizens in Luxembourg about the war that you fought for? What would you say to the people who doesn't know much about it?
Well, first of all, I have to find the people who are interested. And, well, that is only people who know me. And they come to me and they ask me, and so especially my family and my friends and my, and I am so well known in Luxembourg.
Oh.
Yes, that everybody where I go, they know, they say, here comes the colonel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you have to speak up about the war that you fought.
Yeah, I can go. Some people have questioned me, and they were interested, but most of all the others, they didn't touch the problem.
Right. No. So that's why we are doing this. We want to preserve your memory, first of all, and then we want to work with people like Elizabeth or the president of Korean Association here, Jesse Park, or any other people who are interested in making this into curricular resources so that teachers can use it. That's why she was in Eden's conference. And we, Foundation, produced a curriculum book. She has it. If you have it, could you show them around? And so, this is my last question. What would you say? Do you have any message to the Korean people for the commemoration of the Korean War next year, 70th anniversary? This is actually ridiculous because it's been 70 years since they signed the armistice, ceasefire. I don't think there is any war in the history of 20th century human society where that has war lasted more than 70 years after the ceasefire. So what would be your message to the Korean people?
Well, it's always good. That's what we do in Luxembourg also when we are talking about the Second World War. We were occupied 5 years during the war by the Germans. Oh, yeah. And you were occupied before the war started by the Germanese. So I can make already a comparison between our two nations because they have suffered the occupation by foreign nations. Yeah? And well, they were Koreans. They felt like Koreans. They loved their nation. So was it in Luxembourg. Yeah? And that's why I say it's very good to celebrate. It's very good to remind. Yeah? Because the young people, well, maybe they get awake when they hear that. Huh? And they, some people are interested, but maybe some people say, what are we celebrating today? Huh? But when we celebrate some event of the last war, really, we mean it, we celebrate it. And the population, the Luxembourg population, my generation, they know exactly what is going on.
I think that's a very important point that you made it, that Luxembourg was under the German occupation, Korea was under the Japanese occupation, so we share that sentiment and history. And I think that will be a great message for the Korean people. And any other message that you want to leave to this interview about any battle episode or anything that you haven't told me? Anything?
No. Oh, there are so many details because the period, we touched one period. There are there are many things to say besides what we have talking about. Well, I should say that we touched the most important points.
What is the importance of Korean War to you?
The importance, well, that was for the people who started it, that was an échec. For the people who started it, they had to move out. But the only thing I regret when I go down and we come at the demarcation line, and I say, well, maybe that if the military side had operated a little bit more clever, they could have gone, because MacArthur didn't even know that there was 1 million of Chinese in the Manchurian area. 1 million. Well, 1 million, where do they come from? And my security agents, what did they do during this time? Nobody knew. And, well, when they sent 1 million together, or only 500,000 together, you can't do anything against that. And they knew the ground, and they were not equipped like we were equipped. We had so many things to care, and we were, well, no, the Korean War for the northern side was a very big mistake to them, for them, an échec, and they didn't succeed. They didn't know. They didn't realize what they had wanted to be done, and well, it's a pity, as I said, if they had operated. Now we talk about that and we think about it, but at the point, because MacArthur, he was pulled out by Truman, because he was already on the way. He was at the Yalu.
Yeah.
He was with one Korean or two Korean division already at the Yalu, and then the Chinese. And that was what I knew at that time, that the former ambassador of foreign affairs, the Chinese.
Zhou Enlai?
Yeah?
Zhou Enlai.
Zhou Enlai, yes, Zhou Enlai. We say Zhou Enlai.
Yeah.
Zhou Enlai, he said, if you come too close, we put a hand on it.
Yeah.
And that was inaugurated. Yeah.
I think that's a very important message. And I have done a lot of interviews, but we seem to have only 3 or 4 maximum from Luxembourg. But that's a lot because you sent 85 soldiers. But because you share this historical legacy together, it was very important for Korean people. So on behalf of Korean nation, I want to thank you for your fight. And your fight has never been forgotten in the minds of Korean people. And it's a forgotten victory to many other people. That's why we want to work with the museum to spread this, okay? So, Tun, thank you so much for your fight. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.